So we'll back the truck up to the pen here and then just pass them in. Lucky bird number 1. Okay. Lucky bird number 2. Okay folks, so here we are. We've got killing cone going on, that's what you call this. We've got a chicken in here. We've already gone through the process of dispatching it, and so I didn't want to film that because I know that's bothersome. Even, I know this is kind of gory, but it is where your meat comes from. So what we do is we basically hold the feet up, pull the head down, and then take care of this piece and collect the blood, because otherwise it's a real mess. Even though the chicken is moving a little bit, it's already dead. These are just nerves that are activating. So anyway, we actually have some pretty large chickens. We think they're like 9 pounds maybe. The next stage is to head over to the propane. Hi there. Hey. Look at this guy. The next stage is to head over to the propane powered boiling pot, and they dip in, they stay in for 5-10 seconds, pull them out for 5 or 10 seconds, and do that over and over again until the skin on the legs starts to come off and the feathers pull out. And so that's the process. You're not actually trying to cook the bird. If you take too long, that can be a side effect. He's the special one with no head. Well, it's not there.
Cut this one's head off?
Yeah, that one had a head. One more.
Oh.
Yep.
I thought it just came up in here, and I was like,
you guys ready?
yeah.
Okay, so this guy's been through the defeathering machine, and any little pin feathers, you can get them out, but pretty cleaned up. And so first step, cut the legs off, and you really want to look for the joint. You don't want to be cutting through bone because your knife will dull. I learned today that the I learned today that the feet are a really sought after piece for making bone broth. That's a new one for me. I think I'll leave these with the thanks, Dave. I think I'll leave the feet with the people who were kind enough to let us come and jump in on their home slaughter. So get the feet chopped off and the head. We're gonna be pulling that guy right there and make a little incision right here. I know there's 100 videos on how to do this on YouTube, but Joe Salatin is the man, I guess. If you want the authority, you check with him. But anyway, I'll just show you what I'm doing. I don't claim that I figured this process out. I just watched other people on YouTube and learned what they did, and now that's what I'm doing today. It may seem kind of gross and gruesome if you've never done this before. It sort of is, but do it a few times and you won't even think about it. You want to kind of free up some of this tissue so that it'll pull through. There's just some fat there. I guess you can leave that in place, but basically you want to free up the esophagus and free up the crop here, so that when you're at the back end, this can all just pull through. Saw a piece of grass there a second ago. So I'm just kind of massaging this to free up the connective tissues. Now we're going to flip around to this end, flip this guy over, take off its little fat sack here. I'm guessing that if you left this in place, this little fat sack, it'll impact the taste. That's the only reason why I figure they cut this off. So anyway, next is make an incision in the abdomen, and you get your fingers in there. And
44? Did we do 44 today?
sometimes if any of the poop comes out, you got to stop in the middle of this and kind of rinse the area. You definitely don't want to get contamination on your meat, so it's worth it to stop. Get your garden hose to take care of that. So I want to basically open up the rib cage a bit so I'll be able to get my hands in there, see liver and other items like that. So I'm reaching all the way in like this and down. And there's this is a big chicken. There's a lot to pull out. There's a lot to pull out.
What's that? I mean, it takes a while to zip them, so obviously if you had more tone. We were slowing you down. Were we? No?
And
You had 3 people processing.
I know you can't see what my fingers see, so you know, take my word for it. You're trying to scoop this out.
You'd want another,
I don't know how hot a chicken's body temperature is, but this actually feels like way more than warm.
I think if you had 4
Like, I don't know, 40 something degrees. Like, it feels sort of hot even. Anyway, that's the lungs right there.
Oh my goodness, has the host, my God.
Liver, I would imagine. People do save the livers. I'm not big into organ meats, but when you're pulling the liver apart, you definitely don't want to puncture this area right there. It's bile duct, and that kind of, you'll know if you do, because there's a green bunch of guck that comes out of there and might contaminate the livers. Anyway. And this was a rooster, you can tell from that. And there's another one. Oh, yeah, anyway, rooster.
no child has ever done that, so that's a good thing. They got some soap there. It's like,
So I'm cutting on either side of the vent. You definitely don't want to cut into the vent. And you're down far enough. I'm not saying that's the optimized cut right there, but certainly does it. So we've kept everything clean, all the guts and the innards that are dirty. There's nothing with any poop on it. And so if we rinse that guy off, he's ready to go. A few little veiny things and whatnot in there, but that's ready to go. So there's your non-expert guide to cleaning a chicken. Next thing we're gonna do is rinse it out really well inside and outside, and then put it in a bath of ice water to cool its interior temperature down. All right, so we've had these birds soaking in a tub of ice water for about an hour to cool down. Now we're putting them in bags. And the next thing after this is they go in a, not boiling water, but very hot water bath to get the air out of the bags. Right.
did you yell at him?
Bag comes out, zip tie gets tight, and that's the end.